Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Cancer, December 11, 2022. Early today, it's best to remind yourself of your usual limits, with Venus and Jupiter clashing. Circumstances seem to encourage you to forget them, and judgment can be off. Decisions based on the moment's mood are unlikely to work out very much in your favor, just for now. There is a tendency to make promises that are hard to keep or simple statements that others take as more than they are. These things are resolvable but can be nipped in the bud with some mindfulness of current transits. Keeping things moderate makes sense now, although having some fun is still possible. You may want to do something different, and current dissatisfaction can lead to meaningful improvements. You might get the chance to balance out and enjoy your daily routines with Venus beginning its transit of your solar 6th house today. This cycle, lasting until January 2nd, is strong for bringing harmony to your everyday life, including your working environment. There may be social opportunities emerging through your work, daily routines, or pursuit of health goals. The weeks ahead can be rewarding for taking more pleasure in organizing and working. Sugar, spice, and plenty of things that are nice await you today. As Venus, our lesser benefic planet, tosses her hair in your solar 5th house and shoots over a seductive gaze to mighty Jupiter, our greater benefic, in your solar 8th house of intimacy, you'll be feeling the urge to shake it up. Socializing would be particularly enjoyable today, so consider grabbing dinner or seeing a movie with your sweetheart or friends. If single, this is a gorgeous moment to put yourself out there because you may end up meeting someone who allows you to truly trust on the most intimate of levels. Are you in control? You should reconsider how much of your time, energy, and resources you are investing into your passion projects today when Venus in Sagittarius squares Jupiter in Pisces. Something could easily spiral out of your control if you do not keep yourself in check. For example, it could be how much money or time you spend on a project. Commit yourself to something that you are passionate about, but do so in moderation. Later on, Venus will enter Capricorn, which will make you feel a little more grounded with your work commitments. While there is no planetary activity in your income sector, with the moon returning for its last visit for the year next week, there is still income potential ahead. Especially as Venus return to your work sector today will sharpen your nose for money and act as a trigger in the early days of the planet of money's mission to fuel your job confidence, attract opportunities, and steer things in a lucrative direction. Resistance is something you possess in spades. You are quite resistant to colds, are able to work despite distractions, and you easily resist temptation. When you find resistance in yourself, however, your tendency is to back away and pretend it isn't there. If you find yourself resisting the health practices you identified days ago, the first thing to do is suspend judgment. With an open mind, go back to your list and find other options that suit you better. Resist discouragement. Take care of yourself when it comes to the relationships in your life that are emotionally stressful. If it has come to a point where you are considering whether you want to stay in this relationship or not, the essence of this day is sure to enhance your dilemma. Sound and healthy relationships are part of this day's objective, as is knowing when to put an end to things. Give your situation some thought and make decisions as to what you need to do for your well-being. As Venus leaves a fun, playful, romantic and creatively charged part of your chart and returns to your busy work sector, she follows in the footsteps of Mercury, who made the same shift 3 days ago. This is good news professionally, with Venus returning to not only bring this professional year home but to ride a wave that has been building across the income, work and career fronts. However, with the Sun staying on in a playful and creative part of your chart but only for the next 12 days before he too follows suit, this makes a balance between work and play important. While the Sun will stay on in your romantic sector for another 12 days as Venus, the planet of love, leaves today, it is with a reminder that time is running out when it comes to embracing the spirit of romance. With life only getting busier, Venus leaves you with a better sense of what you want from love, and the Sun will continue to keep the solar spotlight on matters of the heart and all things romantic. Our eyes in the sky. Relationship tension could form this morning as a square between Venus and Jupiter takes center stage in the cosmos. You might feel as though your partner has been more self-involved lately and your needs aren't being met. This aspect could also make it difficult to find inspiration on a personal level, and the temptation to sleep in will be real. Try to watch your triggers right now, and avoid being reactive if you're faced with internal or external conflict. Full of energy and courage, you need not ask for better conditions to achieve your ambitions. Proceed with caution as you easily get sidetracked by intricate details that appear to be interesting and distract you. Approach things in a level-headed and sensible way and avoid taking too long to reach a successful outcome by concentrating on important tasks. Making plans for the future, you adopt a position that increases the strengthening of family ties. Your relations happily accept this and support you firmly in your plans. The consolidation of personal relationships continues in your love life. You get close to a certain someone, and long-lasting bond results from the well-meaning advances you make. Plans you try to implement require you to focus attention. More than ever, it's important to accept that you cannot change certain things and you don't allow your disappointment to stand in your way. Instead, concentrate on things which lie ahead. With the correct amount of patience and persistence, even if it takes longer, you reach your goal. As we head into the afternoon, the energy begins to lighten significantly, and an opposition between the Moon and Mercury gives us the opportunity to communicate and sort out our feelings. With its emotional ups and downs, this day could feel like a roller coaster, but any issues that arise during the day should resolve by nightfall. You'll likely feel exhausted by day's end due to the lunar tension, so head to bed early and get some much-needed rest. Finally, Venus enters Capricorn tonight, making us work hard for love and money. Roll up your sleeves and dig in. In the morning, Venus in Sagittarius squares off with Jupiter in Pisces, causing us to throw caution to the wind. Avoid putting yourself in harm's way via undue optimism. In our good mood, we might think, what's the worst that can happen? And most of the time, the worst does not in fact come to pass. We may simply get stuck negotiating a few uncomfortable or cringy interactions. Yet, if the stars misalign, we risk doing damage to our relationships through a lack of self-restraint or empathy. We don't have the best awareness of our limits, and our idealism can place us in vulnerable positions. By exercising moderation, we should be able to handle this influence just fine. Doubts appear to have dissipated, and you're busy moving forward. Use this newfound energy to start new projects and make important decisions. Since everything is taking care of itself, you feel totally at ease with what you're doing and able to be effective and enjoy success. Don't get involved in too many projects. Otherwise, you risk becoming exhausted. Mostly because of your open and friendly conduct, people provide you with positive feedback that you're likely to find extremely helpful. They notice how instinctively you provide them with the support and encouragement they need and naturally return the help received, so an atmosphere of mutual support develops, which is beneficial for everybody. Following this, the Cancer moon opposes Mercury in Capricorn, clouding our judgment. We believe we are approaching a problem rationally, yet our perspective is biased and our emotions are erratic. Positions that we vigorously defend one minute may be swapped out the next, with no explanation. The way we vacillate in our logic will be frustrating to our conversational partners, and we may not even realize we are doing this dance. Instead of wasting time trying to convince another to adopt your position, put your energy into managing work or routines.